Okay, we're recording. Hi. Thank you so much for hopping on with us. Can you start out with just telling us who you are, where you're from, all that good stuff, and just kind of share your story with us?
For sure. So first we're going to ignore what I'm wearing. I'm wearing one of these comfies. It goes around your legs.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm just so sad. What are you doing? Okay. Sorry. So, hi guys, I'm Chrissy. I'm one of Haley's super good friends. I'm so excited. She invited me on.
Yeah, I'm really bad with introductions. So just introduce yourself.
Oh no, you're fine. I'm 26. I live in South Connecticut.
I just can't get over this. They cut the kids right out of the show.
New York. And just a little bit about my story and like how, because it's like, why do you live in South Connecticut if you grew up in upstate New York? Makes no sense. So basically, I graduated with my bachelor's degree in 2014. Kind of had no idea what I wanted to do with my life or with my degree. I kind of knew that I was always going to have to get a master's if I wanted to do anything like of substantial worth. I got my bachelor's in psychology. So anyone who went to school for psychology, if anyone knows, like you literally need something else with that. There's just like no job opportunities really. So I always had in the back of my mind that that's what I was going to do. I was going to get my master's. I was going to get a good like big girl job, and then like everything was going to fall into place. I was working at a daycare. After I moved back home after college, I was working at a daycare like literally like 50 to 60 hours a week. I was going in early. I was staying late. I wasn't taking breaks. And not because I chose that life, just basically because that was just, I don't know, my boss just felt really comfortable asking me to come in early and stay late and not take breaks and whatever. So I was just working super hard. I was working way harder than the people around me. And I was like becoming drained. After work, I would go and babysit. Literally straight from work. Sometimes I was just doing anything to just make extra money because like it's sick. But after working all those hours and working on my feet and just being like super crazy all the time and never having any time like for myself, I was still like unable to like, I was paying my bills, but like that was it. Like that's all I had at the end of, at the end of everything. It's like, okay, why am I working 60 hours a week to be able to pay my bills? Like this is so stupid. I can't save any money. I can't do whatever. So while all this is going on, I was watching my enroller on Instagram for literally 8 or 9 months. I never reached out to her. I never commented on a photo. I never messaged her anything. I was just like kind of waiting for the right time. I was kind of waiting to see if she was like serious, if she was actually like making money from this. I'm super green, so I like to get like all the details on anything that I'm doing before I jump into something, and I always want to know like X, Y, and Z about everything. So I literally stalked her forever. Finally, right after the new year, I kind of hit a breaking point. I had adopted a puppy because I was in upstate New York and my boyfriend actually lived in South Connecticut. So after working 60 hours a week, I was still driving 3 hours to him, going back every weekend. And I was kind of just like feeling super lonely because we hardly ever got to see each other. So I adopted a puppy. That's what we all do when we're like going through a quarter life crisis. And I realized really quickly that being like a by myself dog mom, super expensive. I was going to have to get her spayed because she was a little bitty baby. She wasn't spayed yet. And I was like, this is going to be like $500. Okay. Or am I going to pull $500 out of the air? Like, cool. So did not have any time to like pick up on a third job or a fourth job. I was already babysitting for like 5 families that I met from the daycare. And then I was working on the daycare literally every other second of my life. And I wasn't about to give up my weekends because that was literally the only time that I had to like focus on school, to breathe for 2 seconds, to like shower. Like I wasn't about to give that up. So right after the new year, I was like, okay, I'm doing it. It's fine. We're just going to take some Christmas money. We're going to sell some purses and we're just going to jump in. So I finally messaged her, joined on the spot, signed up my boyfriend literally 15 seconds later. She's like, okay, well, the first thing we want to do is we want to earn your shopping spree, and we would just want to get you promoting right away. And I was like, okay, like literally I was like a robot, like tell me what to do and I'll do it. I don't care what it is. Like I didn't sign up and pay $99 to like sit on my butt and wait for money to start raining on me because I knew I was going to have to work. I literally did whatever she told me to do and just got to work. In 2 months, I promoted to Ruby. I earned the $1,000 Ruby bonus. Throughout that whole year, like it gets kind of dark. I was super lazy for a long time. After I went Ruby, I kind of did nothing. Literally just posted. I wasn't messaging people. I wasn't actively working. my business. And then my volume started to slowly drop. My team started to slowly quit. My checks got lower and lower and lower. I was eventually only maintaining distributor, making like $40, $50 a month. And I was like, okay, well, this was at that time, this was just shortly after I was able to save enough to get an apartment in South Connecticut with him. So after we moved in together, my It Works check started to drop. I just transferred daycares, by the way, too, from the one in Albany down to the one down here. So I was kind of back at square one, except now I was paying rent. So I'm working at the daycare long hours, paying rent, living with a man. It's just crazy. And my It Works checks were like getting smaller and smaller. And I was like, okay, well, we got to do something about this. So instead of picking back up with my business and working hard, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to get a different job. Graduated with my master's, quit the daycare, got a new big girl job. Thought it was going to be like a dream. I don't know why I was like so obsessed with the idea of like wearing like pantsuits and like business professional outfits. I don't know why this was like a thing I desired at one point, but it was. And I was like, ooh, I got a desk. Like I get to not wear sneakers to work. I was just pumped to like not be in a red polo and like have baby puke all over me. I don't know. It was like some sort of like professional thing that I just wanted like to do. Then I got to work, and I'm not even kidding you guys, it was literally the worst thing I've ever done in my life. My boss was so mean. My coworkers were mean. I just hated everything about it. I just didn't like it. And then I was like, dude, went to my upline again. It was like a repeat of when I first joined, and I was, what do I need to do? Except this time, what do I need to do to be like full-time with It Works? What do I have to do? And she's like, dude, you promoted twice in like 2 months after you joined. You know exactly what you need to be doing. You just need to be doing more of it. The only reason you started to fall off is because you slowed down. You stopped doing what you were originally doing to be successful and to like create that momentum. So I'm like, oh, duh, cool. Like, obviously I just need to be doing more of whatever it was that I was doing. And then she's like, can you imagine if you spent the 8 hours a day that you're sitting behind that desk, like hating your life on your business? And I was like, you are so right, honey. So after a lot of conversations and like thoughts and whatever, just trying to make a decision, I finally decided that desk job was not for me. It was day 8. My boyfriend kind of hyped me up. My upline hyped me up. My mom hyped me up. And basically I just decided that on my second Wednesday during my lunch, I was going to tell my boss, like, be right back. I'm going out to grab lunch. And I just never returned. I blocked his number. I blocked my work's number. I blocked his email. I blocked everything. I was like, goodbye. I'm falling off the face of the earth, and I'm just going to leave you wondering because I don't have time for this. I deleted my LinkedIn. Like, it was bad, like all within the matter of an hour. And I was like, okay, well, homegirl, you just quit your job as a Ruby, and now you have no income. Like, you need to get your butt working. So that's exactly what I did. I went right from walking out of my job to meet Mike for lunch. And I remember we were sitting at the table, and I just started messaging people right away, something I hadn't done in a very long time. And in that 2 hours that we were sitting at lunch, I had signed 3 customers, and I was like, okay, duh, like this is literally, why wasn't I doing this all along? Hi, what is wrong with you? So that was June of 2017. In July, I promoted to Emerald. In August, I promoted to Diamond. And in January of last year, so a year ago this month, I went double right before conference. And now I'm just home chilling in South Connecticut I live with my boyfriend, my 2 dogs. Long story short, yeah, that's basically my story.
I love your story. That is so crazy. You just didn't go back and just blocked it. You're like,
bye. Thank you, next.
Okay, that cracks me up. Okay, so you went Ruby 2 months in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you were working like 50 or 60 hours a week, you said?
Oh, yeah. I was working full-time at the daycare, but I was working over hours. So I was probably working 50, 60 hours a week, and then I was babysitting for 2 families, which I would go to right after. And then I was also in a master's program full-time, too. And I was taking 2 courses at a time. So it was just a lot. It was a lot. And It Works.
Okay, so we have a lot of people on here who are, first of all, new and want to go Ruby. But second of all, we hear that all the time. I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. My life's too crazy. I'm too busy. So you obviously had a crazy busy life. So how did you go Ruby so quickly with everything else you had going on?
So another thing about working at the daycare, like it wasn't a job where I could look at my phone. You literally aren't allowed to. I don't know. I mean, at least in Connecticut and in New York, because I was in the daycare in both of those states, you literally cannot be, you're not allowed to be on your phone in a daycare. Because we were like at a corporate daycare. It wasn't like a home daycare. It was literally like a corporate chain daycare. If you're caught on your phone, you get in a lot of trouble because you can't be taking pictures of children. You can't be recording kids. Like you can't be doing, that's literally illegal. Like you get in so much trouble. So I was not even allowed to like have my phone with me. It was like in my car. I wasn't like trying to risk that. So I literally could only be on my phone in the morning on my lunch break when I got one, going from point A to point B if I was like going from work to babysitting, or if I was going from work to home. And then little breaks, like when I needed a break from homework and stuff. So it wasn't necessarily that I didn't have time. Like I literally didn't have time, but I saw the value in it. So I made time, and I was like, I didn't join this to just add something else to my plate. Like that's silly. I joined this so I can start removing things from my plate. I joined this so that I can get rid of this job that I can't touch my phone at. I joined this so I don't have to keep picking up babysitting shifts with like these cryo families from my daycare. So it just was worth it to me to at least give it a full effort. So instead of waking up like 15 minutes before I had to like walk out the door, what I always did was I would wake up an hour before I had to leave, and I would work my business for an hour. I remember it'd always be like the first person on my timeline on Instagram back when it was chronological order, TBT and Stone Ages. So I was like the first one posting every morning, literally on my timeline, like 6:15, 6:30, I would put up a post, I'd message, I would follow, then I would do that literally until I had to walk out the door. I had an hour commute to work. So, yeah, I just wasn't touching my phone for an hour on the way to work. Then I would get to work. If I had time, whenever I was in my car and I was parked, and I would do this before I left places and as I was leaving. So, or before I left places and as I was arriving. So when I got to work, if I had an extra 3 to 5 minutes, I would real quick check my DMs and see if I had any messages and like respond to people. Sorry. Michael, can you shut the door, please? Thank you. Queen Brooklyn. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So whenever I was like in my car parked, I would always just make like a little bit of an effort. Sometimes all it takes is responding to one person to like earn their trust, get an order, sign someone up as a distributor, whatever it is. So I would respond to them. Then if I got a lunch break, I would literally be working my entire lunch break. Like I'm not sitting on my lunch break eating. I mean, I was eating and I was like stuffing food in my face. In the other hand, I'm messaging people. I'm putting up another post, whatever it was, adding to my story, all that good stuff. And then I would go back to work. And then when I got out of work, before I would drive home, because I knew I was going to be stuck in my car for an hour, I would see what my DMs were like at that point. Either respond to people, send a few more messages. I got really good at talk to text, and I was like literally like Bluetooth, like letting people know like instructions on how to order really bad, but like that I didn't care. Like I needed to like get people in. I knew I just needed to, and that's just that. And then whenever I got home, I would do the whole dinner, shower, start my homework, take care of the dog type of thing. And whenever I just needed like a mental break, because I don't care who you are, you can't do homework for 5 hours straight without like going pee, without going to get a snack, without like changing the show on Netflix. Like you have plenty of time to send another 15 messages out. It literally takes 15 seconds and it's like a mindless activity. And I am not the type of person who can sit and just do homework for 5 hours straight. So whenever I felt myself needing a break, I would devote it to my business, because now, you know, it's midnight and I'm sitting here doing homework. Enough of those like 15-minute chunks throughout the day of me working, like before I got to work, while I was on break, after work, I mean, that adds up to an hour or two. And like any of us that are full-time now know that like everything we do is in short little spurts in like the nooks and crannies of our day. And even still working from home full-time, I probably still only work, 3 to 4 hours a day on average. There are some days where we're literally behind our phones for like all day if we're like really pushing for something. And we also know there are some days where we literally don't have 2 seconds to sit down because we're so busy and we don't even touch our phone. So I would say a good average of like being full-time, 3 to 4 hours total of, a combination of everything, talking to your team, editing your pictures, getting posts up, adding to your story, all that, so little 15-minute pieces here and there between work, between school, between kids, between whatever it is, just life. I would just fit it in like literally whenever I could.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I did, because I was going to school full time. I was working, and that's all I had was like those little 10-minute chunks here and there. But it really does add up. You just have to be so intentional with that time. And some people, they're just like, well, I don't have time. So you just don't even think about it all day, but you do. You just have to find it in your day. So I love that. So I had my team like ask questions that they wanted me to ask you. So I'm just going to go through these. So tips for promoting the products before you have gotten your own results. That's from a new distributor, obviously.
Okay. I literally love this question so much. I always get this question, I feel, whenever I sign someone up. And I love when new distributors ask this question, because it means you're having conversations. It means you're talking to people and they're saying, well, have you tried it? Well, have you tried it? Because no one knows to ask their upline, what do I say when someone asks me if I've tried it, unless you're asking people. So that's always a good sign when, like new distributors, when you feel like you need to ask that. So I literally asked the same thing to my upline when I joined, because guys, I'm not even joking. I stalked my upline for 8 to 9 months, and I didn't even know she sold products. Like, I didn't even know what the products were. I had no idea, because I'm sure she was posting about them, but those weren't the posts that got my attention, because I was studying her life posts. I was studying. The posts about the products literally were over my head, because I'm like, I don't care. This girl could be selling dirt. She's making $10,000 a month. Like, I would just want to do what she's doing. She's excited. She's home. She's a mom. She's loving life. Like, she's whatever. I don't care what she's selling. So I ran into that a lot when I was brand new. I was just so excited and literally just ignorance on fire. I didn't know what I was talking about, who I was talking to. I didn't know how to send a message. I didn't know how to post, but I was just doing a lot of stuff because I was just so excited and just pumped and ready. And I was like, I'm the type of person who doesn't like half-ass anything. So if I'm going to spend $99 on something, I'm going to like make it worth my time, So I would go to her and I'd say like, oh, like this girl's asking me like how the hair, skin, nails works. Like, what would you say? And she was like, tell her that, it's great for your skin. And like, some people see results in 2 weeks. Some people, it takes that second cycle, like after your hair sheds and then your hair grows back. And then, after 6 to 8 weeks, like your hair is way thicker and it just grows so much faster and blah, 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 this and that. She's just telling me just based off of either A, what her results were with whatever product I was asking her about, or B, like what somebody who's been in the business for a little while has seen. Because obviously we've seen like corporate results, pictures of like people who've been on hair, skin, nails, for example, for 2 weeks and their hair like grew this much, or people that it says like it's 9 months and it grew a little bit more, but it's like way more thick or whatever it is. Your upline is someone that you can go to ask like, what were your results with this? Like, have you used this? What were your results like? Or, what is like the general consensus on like this particular product? I would go to her a lot for that. And then also I literally faked it till I made it, literally. Like, I didn't even have my starter kit yet. And someone's like asking me about the wraps or whatever it was. And I'm like, dude, they're amazing. Like, I've been using them and I've just seen so many amazing results. And like, I was just going nuts. Like, I was just talking about how amazing they were. And then it made it so like when I finally did get them and I finally did use them, I was like, dude, these are literally so amazing. Like, I knew what I was talking about all along. Like, this is crazy. And then also Pinterest is a free thing. And if you go on Pinterest and you just search anything, like keto coffee, it works before and after. There is just pages and pages and pages and pages of corporate approved before and afters. And if you're excited about something, like people don't necessarily like care, like how I was saying, I would have joined my upline if she was selling dirt. Because if you're really excited about something, it just attracts people. Like, you see all these people like fashion bloggers or people that do like the cheap, like at home DIY decor pages, like that just have thousands and thousands of followers. And they can literally share like a shoe you've never heard of before in your life, but they can say like, these shoes are so amazing and they're so soft and they're so comfortable and they're so cute. And then all of a sudden like 50,000 people go click their link and go buy them. And just because these people are just so excited about them. So just sounding like sharing the corporate approved results, of course, and sending them to people and just sounding really excited about what the product is and what it does, which mind you, we all have websites too. So if someone asks you what a product does, you can just go to your website, see what it does, pair it with some corporate approved results from Pinterest and some like excitement and emojis, like that's all you really need.
Just the emojis. That's all you need.
Yeah, just the excited emojis.
Okay. So do you follow manually or do you use an app still?
Oh my gosh. RIP to Captivate. May it rest in peace.
Yeah.
I buried Captivate in September of 2019 after I lost every single one of my posts for 48 hours. And I thought it was the end of Instagram for me. I don't know. Still, I don't know if it was Captivate that caused it, but I'm blaming it because after I buried Captivate, we had 0 issues. So what I do, and I actually love following manually way better, because when I was using Captivate, I was super lazy. I was just going to doing the same thing I do now, but going to people's likes on their posts, but I was just highlighting everyone. And then letting Captivate run, so it was following tons of men, tons of children, tons of like product pages. I don't know how to like I don't know, like establishments, not like actual real people. But when I follow manually, I'm way more picky. So all I do is I go to my feed, I find someone who's not a distributor, just a normal human being, not an ad, not a child, like somebody that like looks like me or someone that could benefit from the products of the business. Like I'm just scrolling like this girl. It's just like a girl with her baby and like it has 135 likes. So I go to the likes on the picture and I will straight up just go up all of those and follow, click all the women. I don't do men because I've literally never gotten anywhere with men. If I had gotten somewhere with men, I would suggest to follow men. But I'm just going to save you guys the trouble and say just follow women. And then also, I love doing it this way because you have a mutual follow with whoever you're following, because you're following off of your feed, which means you both follow this person who you're following from. So you have a mutual follow. And then it's also super good that you follow from likes, because if somebody liked a picture that like this picture was posted 8 hours ago. So if someone liked that, that means they're an active profile. That means there's someone who's on Instagram who uses it. So you're not following a bunch of pages that like somebody literally hasn't even logged in 3 weeks, because we don't want that. And it makes it better for getting follows back, because if you're following active profiles, you're going to get more follows back. You're limited on Instagram. You can only follow up to 7,500 people, and you don't want to waste those precious follows on people who are like never going to see your request because they never log into Instagram, or because they're like not even real. And if there's somebody who you aren't going to message anyway, like if it's somebody who's like 15, if it's like a business page, like you're not going to message a hair salon and be like, you want to try these products? You know what I mean? So I'm very picky with who I spend my 7,500 follows on. So that's why I follow that way, manually, forever.
Yeah, and that's exactly
the more manual, the better with everything you do as far as Instagram goes and how cranky it's been.
Yeah. So what are you using to unfollow?
So I was using Cleaner, but I also sent that to bed. Cleaner's gone now too, down the tubes with Captivate. I feel like even though Cleaner's like the nice twin, I just feel like they both have bad intentions. So I got this app right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's called Followers.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Use my ratchet now. It's just called Followers. I just have the free version. I'm just going to let it load really quick so I can show you guys. It just takes a second to like load everything. So you just link it to your Instagram. You can spend money to get like the extra cool stuff, but I really think you only need the free one. I mean, the stuff it's pretty cool, but I mean, it's like nothing to like. Okay. So it loads you. It tells you how many followers you have, how many people you're following, your new followers. Oops. Sorry. So I have 157 new followers, 89 people unfollowed me. And then it says like, this is how many people aren't, that I'm not following back. And this is how many people I'm following who are not following me back. So I have 547 people that aren't following me back right now that I'm currently following. So I click that and it shows you every single person who's not following me back. You can unfollow them right in this app, but I'm trying to not use third-party apps in order to like save my Instagram. So I will just look at who these people are and then go into Instagram and unfollow them manually. It is way more time consuming, obviously, than adding all 547 of these people to a cleaner queue and running cleaner. But I'm willing to take the extra, 10 minutes to unfollow manually than I am to like sacrifice my Instagram just because, Instagram wants everyone to be super genuine and whatever, and I get it. But, we're just trying to be genuine, manual people. Literally. But yeah, so you can link all your Instagrams to this, and that's basically just how I've been unfollowing too.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so a few of these are like kind of the same. So I'm getting like, do you have a task list that you go by? If so, what's on it? How do you work Instagram? What does your normal work day look like? So that's all basically kind of the same thing.
Okay, so just like my daily to-dos.
Yes.
Okay, so my schedule's kind of crazy. There's a lot that I like to like fit into my day. So I don't know. I'm not the type of person who can work like off a schedule, because if I'm like, oh, today's a free day, I literally don't get out of bed till like 9:30. I just take my time doing everything because I don't have like things that I need to be doing. So I'm just lost in the sauce, and I just end up like it's 6 p.m. and I haven't done anything yet. So I'm pretty much a good scheduled person. So I still babysit like 2 to 3 days a week. And that's on like Tuesdays and Thursdays. So Mondays, I have a power hour every morning, 9 a.m. on Monday mornings with my team. Then after I feel like that's just a good way to like start my week. And then, so I have to fit in a power hour. And then after that, I will do like, if I am ever putting a product in my mouth, on my body, anything, I always try and get it on camera, even if I don't post it that day, because just the more footage of you that you have of yourself using the products, the better, especially on those days where you're like in a pinch. You want to, like have that stuff readily accessible to you. So I always record myself like either making my keto coffee, or I'll record like just mixing greens and ketones up because I drink that on the way to the gym. Morning stuff like taking probiotic, the immunity, whatever it is, like any sort of like product that I'm putting on my body, in my mouth, which usually comes after power hour, I'll record. Throughout my day, I'm always adding to my story. I probably do like 70-30. Like 70% is just like me, my day to day, like just my kind of like my life, like funny memes, like things that I just think like are going to keep people coming back to your page, because I like to be like kind of like a real human being. I don't want to be just like a never ending ad. I want people, because there are a lot of really, really amazing It Works profiles on Instagram. So I want to stand out in I don't want to be just like a carbon copy of everyone else around me. So I just try and mix it up and, keep it a little bit more me. But then like 30% of my posts to my story are just all business related, whether it's joining the business, products, using them, whatever it is. So I like to mix that up. That's literally all throughout the day. So after I've power houred, recorded something, if it's like a good sort of like hair face day, I'll take a bunch of selfies if I can, especially if like the weather is okay, because we'll take them outside. I usually try and get to the gym with Mike between like 12 and 3, like somewhere in that window. Because it's super important, especially if you're full-time with this, or just like if you're at home with kids or something, like just to get like out of your house for a little while. That's literally why I started babysitting again, because I was like, wow, I can't be home 7 days a week with these crazy people and these dogs. I need to get out of this house. And then on the days I babysit, it's actually like way more better on the days that I babysit. I'll wake up even extra earlier to get a power hour, and I go babysit. It takes my mind off of like It Works for a little while and like focusing really hard on that. And then after babysitting, it's gym, usually grocery shopping. I have my window of like Mike and dog time for like dinner, shower, all that. And then all at nighttime is like when it gets real. Usually at like 8 or 9 will power hours. We'll do trainings like these. And then after this, I will just like literally spend the rest of the day responding to messages. I like to work when the dogs and the man are asleep, because it's like no distractions. It's amazing. But I don't like go to sleep at night until I've gotten a bunch up to my story. Even on the days where I don't post to my page, I still want to make sure my story is lit, because at the end of the day, like people see your stories far more than they're going to see your actual page, just because Instagram is cranky, and like our page or pictures that we post to like our actual feed don't always show up. in people's feeds, but stories are like, just people are constantly flipping through stories. So the odds of someone going past your story is way more likely than them hitting your page. So that's always like a for sure thing. I aim to get out at least 100 new messages to new people I haven't talked to yet. And I can usually do that within 1 power hour or 2. And then I will, if I'm having a lot of really good conversations with those people, I don't focus so hard on unsend, resend. But if I feel like my conversations are sort of dead, I didn't get a lot of responses, I will unsend and resend literally until I feel like I've had a lot of good conversations. Either I've gotten like 10 plus names in my planner or have enrolled as many loyal customers for the day as I think I possibly can. I always aim, like I wake up every day telling myself I'm going to sign at least 2 customers every single day. That's like my bare minimum, what I'm always shooting for. Obviously I will work for way more than that, but that is just always my bare minimum that I shoot for. So yeah, messaging, always posting to my story, getting new content if I can as far as posts and videos go. I like to post to my Instagram like actual page like at nighttime because I like to post right before I do a power hour. I just feel like it helps my likes way more when I post right before I'm about to interact for 30 minutes straight. And yeah, I will follow during like power hours. Obviously during a power hour, I'm posting to my story, messaging, following, and interacting. So that's what occurs during a power hour. So obviously good like work-life balance. Make sure I'm getting in my daily minimums because I'm willing to sacrifice, a little bit more time with like family to get this stuff done until, we're ambassador on a hill somewhere in a mansion.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Next time, Mike.
So, side note, if you guys are brand new, she was talking about unsend, resend. So on Instagram, when you send a message, you can actually unsend it and it disappears on both sides. So the person that you send it to won't be able to see it either. So what she means is like she'll send her 100 new messages. And then if she doesn't feel good about her results for the day, she's going back to people that she's already messaged that never responded to her and unsending it and messaging them again. Because you can do like unlimited of those. So when you're messaging on Instagram, if you message too many too quickly, it's going to block you, but you can unsend, resend as many as you want because it recognizes it as like you've already talked to them. So that's an awesome thing about Instagram that Facebook does not have. Okay, so the next question is, what's your favorite personal development?
I love Andy Frisella. If you guys don't have like kiddos that repeat everything, I definitely suggest him. He's super vulgar. He's like as red as they come. And he curses a lot, but oh my Lord, he like fires me up. And I think it's just because like our mindsets like kind of align. Like you'll come across a bunch of like really good like motivational speakers, and some will like fire you up and some will put you to sleep. And the ones that put you to sleep are putting you to sleep because maybe they're like their story, their come up, their goals, like what they focus on, how they speak just doesn't like light a fire in you really. And it just doesn't like get you hype. Whereas it might like, the person next to you might be like, wow, I love this chick. But like, I personally, like, I love Andy Frisella. He posts on his Instagram, like usually every day. He came from like literal nothing. And he built like $1 billion company over the course of, it was like 17 years before he was even profitable or something. And he just like never quit. So it's all about being persistent, having patience, giving yourself grace, but like also like, oh my God, I just can't even explain. He's got a podcast. It's called the MFC. I'll put it in the chat. I see someone's asking. His name's Andy Frisella. That's how you spell his name. His podcast is the MFCEO Project. And it stands for Mother Effing CEO. Like, I swear to God, like he literally curses every other sentence, but he's just amazing. And he's so red and he just tells you like it is. And he just puts all of your, just like I just love him because he doesn't tolerate like complaining, like because he's like, everyone literally has the same 24 hours. Like, what are you doing? Why, can person A take the 20? Like, I don't know if you've ever heard the quote, like there's this quote where you go to like, it's this person, right, and they have a parent who's an alcoholic, and then one's an alcoholic, one of their kids is an alcoholic and the other one isn't. And you ask the kid A, like, why are you, an alcoholic or something? He's like, oh, because my dad was. So it was from him. Like, whatever, I'm just an alcoholic because he was. And then you ask kid B, why are you not an alcoholic? He's like, because my dad was one. Literally the same excuse, but two different outcomes. And he's just very much like that. Like, we all have the same time and resources available to us. And like nobody in this business, like there's nothing different between like me and Steph Dunn. Like she literally got the same business builder kit as me. She's got the same resources as me. She watches the same training. She messages the same kind of people, works from the same platform. Like they have nothing on any of us on here. It's just, they're literally just doing way more of everything. And he just really speaks how it is. I love him. I love Gary Vee. Gary Vee similar, except Gary Vee is literally a little bit nicer than Andy Frisella. Like if you can even believe that. So I think that's just why I like Andy Frisella a little bit better. And I love listening to podcasts, especially because I'm just a very I can't sit and read. Like, I'm sorry. I just got way too much going on to sit and read. I feel like I'm wasting time when I'm reading. So I watch his YouTube. He's all up on YouTube. His podcast is free too. And I'll listen to it when I'm in the shower, driving, all that kind of stuff. And I also really love, I don't know if this is like considered personal development, but I feel like exercising, going to the gym is like just so good for your brain, like to just get up off your butt and to not be like a lazy laze is just like good for your brain. And it can put you in a really good like mindset. So I definitely recommend, if you guys haven't used the Live Fit app, it's actually pretty dope. The workouts that they give us for free, they're like super simple, especially for beginners. Like anyone could do them. And if you're like a wicked expert in the gym, like you can like make them, they're actually like kind of intense. Like I was like,
I know, I did one the other day and I was like,
is Mark, are you doing these? Like I'd like to see you.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So you do like 99% Instagram, right? You don't really work Facebook.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I think that's what I picked up on last night.
Yep. Yeah. Facebook chicken.
Let me see if there's anything else. What is your personal testimony with our products?
Okay. So when I first joined, the first thing I tried was a wrap because I got it in my kit. When I joined, all we got in the kits were 4 wraps, 4 defined gel samples, and I think that was it. So the first thing I tried was a wrap. I'll just show you guys what happened. And I swear it's because I was talking, like hyping them up before I'd even tried one. Let's just scroll back like 3 years. And while I'm doing this, I will tell you guys also, I was in, like last year I wasn't trying to lose weight. I like didn't really care. Like I didn't really feel like I had to. So I was just like using our products literally because I love them, not because I felt like I needed to lose weight or anything. And I put a side-by-side a picture of me in January and a picture of me in June. And I was like, oh my God, like keto coffee changes your life. Keto coffee, chocolate greens, life-changing.
Yes.
Started using religiously. I'm on like month 2 of New You right now because I wanted to just like get a little bit more beefed up as far as like muscle goes. And it's definitely working. I got to take my after pictures, but I was self-tanning today and I was like, okay, girl. Okay, hang on. We're almost there. We're at the beginning. But yeah, I like literally fell in love with the wraps because I was like, dude, this isn't like.
So that's the first product that you tried, right? The wraps.
The first one I tried was the wraps. Loved them. And then I loved the greens. Just working in a daycare, I felt like I needed all the nutrition I could get my hands on. Probiotic I love. I still take that. I take that literally every morning, and I leave 2 out for Mike every morning. We take 2 every day. Once they took regular off, we started taking 2 probiotic a day instead of taking regular. What else do I use? What do I swear by? Defining gel on your double chin, ladies. Do not sleep on defining gel. That literally is a dream for like your chin. Thermofite. Well, obviously Thermofite X like high, but when Thermofite was Thermofit when I first joined, I didn't take it for a while because I didn't really understand what it was supposed to do for me. But I was on my feet a lot at the daycare. I was taking, no joke, like 25,000 steps a day at minimum, and just the Thermofite like helped don't know even how to explain it. Like I get really bad migraines, and a lot of them were caused from stress at work and just being on my feet a lot. And ThermoFit helped a lot with like the pressure in my head. It helped a lot with me not feeling super hungry at work the whole time I was there. It helped a lot with headaches. Obsessed. I don't know how to like even explain. I'm trying to think of like what other products I really, really love. Those are like my favorites though. Probiotic keto coffee greens. I love wraps. Wrap all the time. Wrapping is like really good for after you get a spray tan and you're on like day 2, like after you've showered, keeps your skin like super hydrated. I can't find my wrap results, but I'll find them as soon as we jump off. But I went from like kind of bloated and like a little puffy to like, okay, what? Like, I don't know. It was just like the coolest thing ever. And I'm just obsessed with them. And that was before they got like repackaged and reformulated and all that. Love them.
You have all the best spray tan tips, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Anyone needs help spray tan. I'm patiently waiting for us to come out with a spray tan. I would die.
That would be so fun. I'm going to get a spray tan. I have to text Chrissy and be like, can you tell me everything to do again? Because I forgot from the last time a year ago. Just give me all the tips. Like that's happened maybe 5 times or every time. Well, Rachel has lost 8 pounds in 10 days, you guys. So shout out.
Oh my Lord.
Okay, I have 2 more questions.
Okay.
So one conference, if anybody's on here and they're not going to conference, what do you have to say to them about
Okay. I have to say to them, like, okay, I'm going to be a little yellow here. It's because I have a speck of yellow. Okay. You guys, I joined in January of 2016. So conference was like right then. Like conference was coming. It was like 3 weeks later. And my upline is just like the sweetest little soul that has ever graced this earth. And she was like, conference is so fun, and like I'm going, everyone's going, and it's just like this great, like life-changing experience. And like I totally understand, like you just joined and you probably can't get work off and blah blah blah, and that's okay. But like you are just gonna see our pictures and you're just gonna be like, wow, it's amazing, and like you have to go next year. And I was like, okay, like I had no idea what she was talking about, but I was like, okay. And then remember how I told you guys that I got really lazy with my business? Yeah, that was during the second conference that I was in the business for. Didn't go for that one either. I was really lazy around that time. Still working in the daycare, except now I'm in Connecticut. So I'm even broker because now I'm like renting. And I actually was finishing my master's like the week before that. And I was due to graduate like the day before conference, or like the Friday of conference was when I was supposed to walk. So even though I didn't end up walking, I didn't go to conference then either. And I went to conference last year for my first time, my third conference that I could have gone to, but it was my first. I can't even explain to you, like when you're in a room of how many thousand people go? I don't even know. A lot of
like 40,000 or something ridiculous like that.
The arena is sold out.
Yeah. And it's like a big, humongous professional hockey arena. So however many people fits in that.
Yeah. And everyone around you is like doing the same thing as you. Like I know for so long, it's my 3rd year in the business, and my best friends in the entire world didn't like even order a product from me. They never joined my team. Still to this day. It took my sisters 2 years to buy from me. Just like when you're surrounded by a lot of people who just like kind of don't understand what you do, don't really care to understand. I don't know. There's a lot of us are in a position where like maybe you have a spouse or, parents that are just like kind of unsupportive, and maybe not that they're unsupportive, but they just like don't know or understand what it is that you do. So when you're in a room of 40,000 people that literally just get it, and they just get it with you, and like you can be in a room with 15 people, and we're in this beautiful house in Florida, and we're all sitting on our phones because it's the last of the month, and like nobody's giving you grief to get off your phone. In fact, people are like, let's get on our phone. Like they're literally like trying to get you on your phone working, and like people just get it as far as like taking your picture, and they just know, like you're just literally surrounded by people that are all like-minded. Like you guys all have the same goals, same exact goals, literally. You don't ask one person in in that arena, if they want to be ambassador diamond and they say no, like it's just all people with the same goals, same mindset, and just the same, like, just you are just surrounded by all these people that are just the same, and it's so comforting and it's so like invigorating. And when you realize that everyone is literally so normal, because I know that like we look at ambassador diamonds like Jade and we're like, dude, she's so amazing, like look at her Instagram, she's got like 30,000 followers and she's Jade Hooper and she's got a gazillion subscribers on YouTube and she's always training us, blah blah. And I literally met her and like homegirl burped in my face like as soon as she met me, and she was like, oh sorry, like I just had a whole bag of salt and vinegar chips. And like she's just like a normal human being. Like everyone started, like I said before, with the same like $99 kit. Some people were really lucky and started for a $10, $20, or $49 kit. We all got the same resources, same goals. The only difference between us and people ranks above us is just that they've been either doing it longer or working harder. That's it. As far as like personality goes and like how like nobody's got a big head, like nobody's like famous. Everyone is just there because they just want to be. And it's like amazing. And it makes you see. I only wish I had gone sooner, obviously for so many reasons, but the biggest reason was so that I could see that like everyone starts out as a distributor. All you had to do was just work to get to ambassador. There's no crazy like time limit. There's no, special requirements that we have that they didn't. Just being able to see that those people were you at one point. It's just like, dude, I'd pay like to go to conference like 10 times a year. Cause it just fires you up. Yeah. It's just insane amount of energy and just crazy.
And if nothing else, just go, because you're going to get awesome pictures of yourself and your Instagram is going to look amazing.
If you have palm trees in your picture, you will promote. Like it is a science. We literally learned palm trees equals promotion.
Every time I go to conference, or really any events, I like sign distributors like crazy because they just like, I'm having the time of my life and I'm so hyped up from all the energy, and I have people all around me being like my paparazzi and taking pictures of me, and it's just like the best thing ever.
Yes. And it's like, what job? I mean, I love making those posts and being like, this is work. Like this is a work trip, guys. This is a work trip. Yeah. What kind of work trip like sends you to Tampa, hires like this DJ, like dude, the parties that these people put together, I'm like, this is insanity. Like this is crazy. I cannot believe this is work. And I just remember last year just being so shook that this was like a job. It's just so insane. And when people see that, like you actually enjoy your life, you enjoy your job, like it's so foreign, the idea of like enjoying your work, that people would rather believe that it's not true than instead invite that into their life.
Yeah.
So when you're showing that like constantly, especially on Instagram, and they see like you in a room with literally 40,000 people around you, and yeah, hi, hello, we're all here. It's not just like 5 of us on Instagram. Like it's all of us. It's this huge like squad. They're like, dude, I want to be a part of that. And I don't blame them.
Yeah. Okay. Last question. Just any last minute tips, like how did you get where you are? Any tips for people who want to be where you are? What has made you successful? Just any awesomeness that you want to share before we hop off.
Sure. So my biggest thing in all of this business, literally that I've just learned thus far, is to not get caught up in comparison. I've touched on like in this Zoom a little bit before, like I told you guys, obviously I was like super lazy in my business for a while. And after I went Ruby in March of 2016, I didn't promote again until June of 2017. And when I went Emerald, I wasn't sitting there like, oh, it took me, 18 months to go Emerald. I didn't even that wasn't even a thought of my mind. I know a lot of people get caught up in like a time period, like, oh, I need to be diamond in 4 months because, like so-and-so went diamond in 4 months. You don't need to put like a time limit on your success. You don't need to feel like you have that if you don't promote or if you don't, reach a goal by a certain date, that it means you fail. Because when you focus on that, that's when you fail. You start failing when you're focusing on things like that, because it's just so silly. And when I was promoting like crazy, like I literally went emerald, diamond, double over the span of like 6 months, I wasn't looking left and right because I didn't care about what was going on left and right. Comparison wasn't even an issue with me at that point because I just had no time for it. I was way too busy with my face and my DMs, like signing customers every 2 seconds, literally. Like I was enrolling so many people and not even trying to be like, oh, I was enrolling so many people, but like I did not care what anyone else was doing. I didn't care about other people promoting ahead of me. I didn't care about, if Sally was, signing 20 distributors or customers more than me. All I cared about was me and my team growing, my team promoting, my team's checks growing. That's literally all I cared about. And then after I went double, I struggled a lot last year with comparison because I sort of felt like, okay, now I'm double, now I need to go triple, and now I need to, whatever. And so, this person goes from diamond to ambassador in like 3 months. Why not me? Why can't I do it? And then you start getting in your own head, then your enrollments start to suffer, then your mindset starts to suffer, and then everything starts to kind of crumble again, right? And then that's what happened with me. Like my enrollment started to drop, my, team started to quit and just kind of fall off the face of the earth. And it leaves me thinking like, okay, well, why can so-and-so go from diamond to ambassador in 2 minutes and I can't even, enroll a customer to save my life? And when you're enrolling tons and tons and tons of customers and distributors, like those aren't even thoughts in your head. Especially when you're first starting, all you want to do is look left and right and be like, okay, well, all these people are promoting around me. Like, why am I not promoting? The only person who is holding you back from promoting is yourself. It has nothing to do with what, whoever is doing around you. It has nothing to do with them. The thoughts that you're having in your head are made up by your head, and you need to put them to sleep, because if, so-and-so can go from diamond to ambassador in 2 minutes, like so can you. But the person who's promoting from, distributor to diamond during this boom season isn't even looking around or caring what other people are doing because they're so busy working on their promotion and their team. So I just think that's super important, whether you're like a seasoned vet or like you just joined, like do not even give remotely one slight of a care about what people are doing around you, unless it's to praise them or be inspired. If you are feeling jealous, or if you are feeling, you're just comparing yourself to someone in a negative way, that is not good and it needs to stop. And the only way to stop that is by throwing on personal development, literally telling yourself that you're a badass and you can do whatever you want, and then just going in and rolling. And I guarantee once you decide in that moment that like, I'm done comparing myself to other people, I'm unfollowing every single person that I compare myself to, I'm, not checking a page or a post that I don't need to be seeing or something, whatever like the case may be, just stop looking at those things because they're just doing no good for you. And if the person that you're comparing yourself to isn't inspiring you anymore and is now kind of like a toxic thing, you just need to remove it. Whether it be people in this business, whether it be spouses that are well, don't remove your spouse, but like, don't listen to them. And then like your parents, if they're unsupportive, like don't be listening to them either. If it doesn't help you grow, whether it be, by enrollment, mindset, whatever it is, just don't invite it into your life. So yeah, that's kind of just don't compare. Don't let other people like kill your vibe, basically.
Yeah. That's so good. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop this